Alrighty guys, so in today's video we got a load of mystery tackle boxes. There's three here. Some of them old, some of them new. Just got one in the mail today actually, and one last week. But we're just going to be opening all of them. Some of them might not have all of the same stuff from when I opened them, but you know, that's what happens when you take them out and use them. So we'll see what we get. Alright, first box. Let's get this guy right here. Oh, everything just fell out. But anyways, so first off, we have this topwater duck. It's called the Western. Looks like a 3.5, 4-inch topwater bait. It's pretty sweet. I love throwing topwater. Next, we have this Crank X Max lure. Right there for you. Red, almost looks like a crawdad. Throw that in some shallow water. I think that one ended up being a... Yeah, it's a 3 to 5 foot diver, so that's pretty nice. Next in this box we have the Big Bite Baits Pro Series. Here's that for you. Take one of them out of the pack for you. So they do just look like a smaller swim bait, like a 3-inch swim bait. White belly, black top. Tiny little guys. But look like they work pretty good, so might try throwing one of those. Actually went fishing last weekend, didn't throw any of this stuff, just took my bag and a couple rods. Caught quite a few bass. But now we have the rear loaded swing jig, a 3/8 ounce. Is that for you? Also never used one of those. I'm more of just like a Texas wig, Rocky wig, wacky rig type of guy with some Senkos. Just throw those on, pull them around some weeds, just stuff like that. So there's that box for you. Go ahead and put everything back in there. Get on to the next box. Alright, so now you have this one. A little older, looks like. Here's the inside of that one for you. First off, we have the Exo Swim 4-inchers. They got like a purplish white bottom and a bluer top to them. They're just these swim baits right here. Pretty decent looking. You know, not much of a swim bait guy. But who knows, we might throw them. After that, we have this tournament grade jerk bait. It's called the Striker. Looks like a 4.5-inch, 5-inch striker, rainbow colored. Might end up throwing that for actually some pike. We'll see. Next, we have these stank craw. They're juiced with stank. These 3-inch. Anyways, there's those for you. As you can see, I've taken a couple out of the pack. I actually have one out of the pack right now. It's like a pumpkin colored. Might throw that with a football head jig or, you know, just something like that. Maybe even a chatterbait. As in fact, I actually had one rigged up in that box with a chatterbait. That's the only chatterbait I had. But it has a purple and black skirt on it. Ran pretty well. I think I ended up catching one largemouth and I think a pike on it. But next we have the Rebel, the floating minnow, so I'm guessing it's obviously a suspending jerkbait. Looks like 3-incher. It's pretty nice. I haven't taken it out of the pack yet. I used to have one just like this. Looked like a brown though, like a brown trout. And when I went bass fishing, I ended up catching a whole bunch of crappie, and I mean some decent sized crappie. So not only can jerkbaits catch largemouth and smallmouth and pike and whatnot, but you might end up throwing on a jerkbait catching a pike. I mean, it's all just luck of the draw. Put those back in that box. Move on to the next one. 2 down, 4 to go. This one looks like it has a lot of my old stuff in it. There's that for you. Start off with this Cutter 110 plus jerkbait. There's some nice rattles in it. It's another suspending jerkbait. There's that for you. It's pretty nice. You know, probably won't throw it. Have these sticky trailer hooks. I've taken one out of here. I honestly hardly ever use trailer hooks because, I mean, I don't know, I just don't. Next we have these little guys. I've taken a couple of them out of the pack, but they almost look like a water spider somewhat. Tiny, tiny. They're black with like a purplish tint to them. You know, who knows? Bass might go after him, maybe even a crappie. Here we have the Flickety Split. It's an 1/8 ounce weighted head. Pretty nice. Probably won't use that either, but it's always good to have it. Ooh. Haven't seen this guy in a while. It's called the Little Runt. Pull this thing out of the, pull it out of the pack. If you ask me, kind of looks like a bluegill. I'll show you guys here in just a second. Looks kind of like a bluegill to me. You know, get them pre-spawn or even during their spawn. You know, throw that on their bed, let it sink down, jerk a couple times. If it does sink, I don't even really know. But since it looks like a bluegill, they might go after it. I mean, never know. We got the brush bands just in case the skirt falls off of your jig head. I mean, your spinner bait. Maybe used for many things with skirts on. Just anything with a skirt on it, pretty much go. Then there's one last thing. We got this tiny little Castmaster. It's a 1/12 ounce. Surprisingly, I have actually caught a bass off a Castmaster. Was actually going for striper in Lake Powell, and ended up catching a largemouth under one of the marinas. So, I mean, it works. Next we have this box. Old, and got one that fell out, but we'll get to it. Here we have a Bagley Pro Sunny Bee Twin Spin. So it's got a blade on the front and blade on the back. Looks like a bluegill if you ask me. Might throw that in Powell. I'm actually going to Powell this weekend. Going to try to get some film on that. See if we can't throw that up on YouTube and see if we get any views off of it. But here we have the Big Bite Baits Pro Series. Look like a little fluke. Take one out. Little 3-inch fluke, looks like. I don't know, that looks really weird, but it has a bit of a pumpkin color top to it with a white bottom. Almost looks like a snail maybe, I don't even really know. But they definitely have a sense to them. Yeah, they have a sense to them. It's pretty strong too, so let's see if we can't get something off of that. We have these cream baits. They're called the Real Screamer. Take one out. Looks like a swim bait. Yeah, it's a little purplish black swim bait. Got that two-tone to it. If you can't tell, it has all these little ridges to it. So, I mean, who knows if that's going to work well or not. All I got to do is throw it and see what happens. So, and last in this box, we have these Pro Series tournament grade fishing tackle. They just look like purple Senkos to me, which is what I like. So, yeah, they're almost identical to a Senko. So I'll probably end up throwing that. I like the movement in it. So what I'll probably do, since it has a lot of movement on both ends, I'll probably end up wacky rigging it. I might Texas rig it for just a little while, see what happens. If it doesn't have enough movement and doesn't have enough weight, just because of the consistency of the salt. Just wacky rig's usually the way to go. For me anyways, I mean. Alright, 3 down. What's that? 4 down. 2 to go. This one. I think this is the one I actually got today. Haven't had a chance to look at this one yet. First off, we got the Dobbins football jig. Hand-tied skirt. Looks like it's just a brown colored skirt with maybe a hint of orange in it. Can't quite tell. It is a 1/4 ounce. There's that for you. I might actually throw, I think I already put it away, but one of those first jigs on that I had to pack out of those brown jigs, might throw one of those on. Take it off at like the first notch, throw it on there, see what happens. Second, we got the Bass Dynasty. Little 5-inch Dyna paddle. Those look crazy. Alright, let's take one of these out. This might be the new bait. This is what I definitely wacky rig on. It's got paddles on both ends, has that purplish tint to it. Sweet. They're pretty light. Might use a small hook. Maybe throw a tiny little split shot or a little slip weight on it with a little weight stopper or a bobber stopper. I mean, if it has enough salt, it'll sink quick enough. Who knows? I mean, weightless worms are always pretty nice. Next we have these Excite baits, little Shad Nasty Quicksilver. These are swim baits, premium plastic lures. This is all new to me in this pack, so. Alright, we got a greenish silver tint on the top. It is a swim bait. It's a nice looking swim bait. What size are these? Doesn't actually say the size, but I'm guessing it's a 4-inch swim bait. Probably throw that this weekend. Stripers love shad colored stuff, so that's nice. Now we're on the Carl's Amazing Baits, the Shimmy Snake. Has a nice little wrapper on it. So this is definitely signifying a craw. That is a deep diving thing too. Look at the size of the, I can't see, yeah, you can see the bill on it, but that thing is crazy. So you can't read up on it a little bit. 3 1/4 inch length. It's a 3/8 ounce. It's called a fire craw. Doesn't dives 5 to 8 feet. Wow, a lot more shallow than I thought, considering the size of the bill on that. I'll probably throw a lot of this stuff this weekend. I might even do a little MTB box challenge. We'll see. Got a couple of little packages in here. We have these Zone Lock. It's in the bend. Oh, okay. I can't. So, just right there on the end of the hook, you can see how it curves in and curves back up. Almost looks like a catfish lure. Getting our lip, won't be able to get back out, which is pretty nice. They don't look too heavy duty, which is kind of sad. They're size 3/0, so that's decent. I'm definitely going to use some of these this weekend. Definitely. Texas rigged those babies. What else we got in here? We got the pegs. I have no idea what this is. If you guys have any idea what this is, let me know in the comments. But, you know, this little handy dandy sticker. I got the majority of these on my truck, on my tackle box, I mean, everywhere. Every time I get a new sticker, it's going on something. Alright, we have one last box we're going to open up. There it is. What all do we have in here? Well, we have a lot of my stuff that I've changed out, and a lot of new stuff. First, we've got this swimming runner. I've taken one of the swim baits out of there. It's got one blade on it. Weighted head. Shad colored 3-inch swim bait. I'm actually pretty decent this weekend. Stroll along the walls of Lake Powell. Yeah, see, I got a lot of my extra lures in here. This ain't no MTB opening. It says a brand opening. Got this little crankbait here. Well, we got a cast master and rattle trap. Just gonna set those off to the side. I got everything in here. I don't even know what this is. Football head jig. This one actually has rattles on it right here, this little red thing. Caught a couple bass off that. Got this little Carl kit. Obviously used one of the slip weights out of there. We got, oh yeah, this white, so this little chatterbait here came out of that box. And that swim bait you see on it is what I got out of the pack with the blade on it, because I figured it looks pretty good together, so why not throw it. As well as just one more weirdly rigged craw. And a Pro Series pack. I like these packs. They usually have pretty good baits in them. Wow. Those are nice and slippery. So here we have a watermelon colored, I think it's got to be a craw. Watermelon colored, no, that ain't a craw. Could be, probably is. There's a watermelon colored craw.